Hello and welcome back to the series of webinars where we talk about how to list your property on diverse booking channels. Today's topic is Expedia. In order to get listed on Expedia, you will first of all need an account. In order to do that, you will need to go on expediapartnercentral.com, register there and get your property contract. Once this is done, you get access to your account, and once you're logged in, you will land more or less on the same page as I've landed, with the only exception that I've already created here a test version of the apartment, but the menu on the left side will be the same. So what you will need to do, you will actually need to do or to set up your first listing. And let's do that together and go step by step through all of the stages. After signing the contract, the second step would be to set up your policies and settings. For example, here you can choose which languages do you speak at the property, which payment methods do you accept. So click on all the relevant ones. You can also attach here the information regarding deposits. Which kind of deposit do you collect? I personally always go with a damage deposit. So it's actually the same as on booking.com. This channel parity is very important so that you have the same information on all of the channels you actually use for getting your property visible. So make sure that also deposits, fees, and so on are the same. You can set up the amount here. You can add alternative deposit payment methods, for example, through PayPal, and actually also once again sum up here which kind of payment options do you accept. Then you can also define here whether you are a professional or private host, the default cancellation policy. Please read through all of those information carefully through. Actually, everything is explained here. So you have a certain policy, for example, 72-hour cancellation window, but you can change that afterwards. So this will only be relevant for now when you get started. Afterwards, you can change your default policy. And last but not least, you can also say here whether taxes and fees are already included or not, and see an example how it would look like in case you decide to pick one of those. Once you have added everything, just click on next and you will be guided to the next step automatically. So I forgot here something, which will be property amenities. And basically, property amenities is about check-in and check-out information. As you can see, you can go through all of that very carefully and just, make everything very precise for the guests, define the check-in and check-out time, whether late check-in, for example, is available or not. In case it is, you can say, well, there is a surcharge for this. And, just really, really define everything in a very precise way. Also, you can add here Wi-Fi details, like, for example, how fast Wi-Fi is. We have also more options here. Just click through all of them and define which one is the best one for you. Also information regarding parking, breakfast, and some other popular facilities and services. Actually, when you read through all these lists, you kind of notice that Expedia and its layout is pretty much designed for hotels. Or maybe like, hostels in some way, but, like a big spaces with several units and kind of extra services, which are typical for hotels. So it's not something to consider if you are, for example, a property owner of an apartment or a single villa or something. In my opinion, it doesn't really suit to that model. But of course, you can get listed there. So it's just my opinion and a short comment to that. Spa services, airport shuttle, in case you provide one, also pets, and so on. And then there's also an interesting section here regarding popular city attractions in case you are located in the city. So you can actually also type in all the details regarding infrastructure and everything. Room conveniences is the next part, and additional amenities you can add based on different categories here. So, for example, if you have any shopping facilities nearby, if you're a spa resort, or maybe it can be something related to the city or natural sites. And actually, this is really important to fill it out because afterwards it will be a certain theme which kind of highlights your property. So for example, if you are located in exceptionally beautiful natural site, or if you have a really great infrastructure in the district of the city you're located in, this will be highlighted and it's kind of really good for your visibility on Expedia. So once you're set up with this, you will be guided to the next step, which is rooms and rates. So here, first of all, the pricing type. Now I've already selected for myself here daily rate pricing. Everything is explained here. There is also a possibility to change to occupancy-based pricing. If you want to switch this model, you will need to contact Expedia support. Just write them a short message. It's very similar to Booking in this case. And then you can add up like a room type or apartment type. And in my case, there is already one, so we can just go to actions and edit this room. Just do not be kind of irritated. On Expedia, it's always called room type, whether doesn't matter if it's a villa or an apartment or anything, it will always be called room type. So, you know, there you can also clearly see that they are very much oriented on hotels and basically designed primarily for hotels. Now, this is the room information. So you can choose here the type, room class if you want to. There is a drop-down menu. In case you want a very specific name, you can try to contact Expedia support and ask them if they can set one for you. But otherwise, you only have those options from the drop-down menus. Define how many bedrooms, living spaces are in the room, whether smoking is allowed, and so on. How many bathrooms do you have, and so on. And then you have those amenities here, just also a list, as you can see, and you can click through all of them and just, you know, define all the specific details about your property. Pretty much easy because it's always more or less this drop-down menu or list with yes or no. Then you have your beds and occupancy, where you can define which bed type do you have in your bedroom, in the living room in case there is, for example, a sofa bed there, whether you have extra beds or no. In case yes, you can also define here which kind of beds and so on. And then based on that, you can also say how many people can stay at your apartment. And last but not least, you have here like a short summary of all the details you have typed in so far. As you can see, it somehow relates to booking.com in terms of the structure. You don't really have texts here, you only have those drop-down menus, and actually you cannot add any description on Expedia. So everything is based on the details you have typed in here. Now you have here this base price, and you can say this base price counts for, let's say, 2 people, and everything above is an additional charge. Now, this is only an example. Of course, you can also say that 100 is already a price for 4 people. You know, it depends on your strategy more or less. For example, a surcharge would be, I don't know, 20 euros per night per person. And you have an example here how it would look like. So moving on, you have now quite a standard section, which is also summarizes like all your rates. I mean, those are just examples and additional information for you. Recommended ones are those which are not active, and those package rates, member-only deals, those are always included and are part of the contract. I don't know why, but Expedia always has them on. You can contact them if you do not want it to be placed for your property, but think about it twice, because on the other hand, it kind of gets your property less visible if you reject those included rate plans, which offer discount for people and therefore boost their booking behavior. So there's also this section called photos, of course, where you have to upload high quality photos and tag them properly. Once this is done, you have your taxes section where you will need to add your tax details. And last but not least, you have kind of a property overview where you can just check if everything is correct. You can edit something, and last but not least, also missing points will be presented here. Like, for example, in my case, I didn't fill out the tax info. Yes, and once this is done, you can actually go live with your property. This is pretty much it. What I also wanted to show you is if you go on these user settings, which is in the corner on the right, you will be guided to the main menu, which includes not only those property settings, but actually all the features Expedia has. Now you have this full menu, as you can see, and where we were previously was this home section. Now opportunities is something which is related to analytics. It's not available for us yet because we're not live. Then you have your rooms and rates details, where you can get an overview regarding your rates and availability. You can correct something, and you can set up, for example, your cancellation policies. This is something I've talked about earlier, where you have this default policy, which is now 72 hours, but you can actually edit it or create a new policy where you can define your own booking window or cancellation window, and also the policy which applies, whether it's 100% of total stay or, I don't know, 80%, anything. You can also set up a non-refundable policy, for example, and so on. Then you have these guest and occupancy fees, which was the surcharge I've been talking about earlier. You have connectivity settings, which kind of relate to your PMS connection. And then you have other sections here, like, for example, reservations or guest relations, where you have an overview of all the messages and actually can also create templates, like on all the other platforms we have been talking about earlier. You can give it a name, you can type in the message, you have here placeholders, like, for example, guest name, and you can say that this should be sent automatically to every guest. For example, I don't know, 2 days after booking or at the time of the booking, during a specific date range, in case there is, for example, special information regarding, I don't know, for example, construction work nearby, which causes extra noise. So this is only a limited amount of time that this information is relevant for. Or if it's like a standard welcome after booking message, then it can be set up as starting immediately with no end date. So this is it. Then you also have like in-house feedback, positive reviews, everything, like quite general one. What I've missed earlier, the marketing section, you can also have an overview here of all the campaigns and promotions which are currently active for you. You have here also proposals regarding other tools you can use, and also create your own promotion in case you wish to. Let's say, for example, for those who book longer stays, like a minimum of 5 nights, for example, you can create your own promotion. Actually, I've already did it here, like min stay 5 nights, which is a standard type, and I get a discount, or I give a discount in amount of 10% to those guests. And this is available to everyone who is booking one year ahead, so to speak. Then you can, for example, also create another promotions. You can create a member-only deal, and we have several options here, which may be quite interesting in case you want to attract more bookings. So it's up to you. Then there is this payment sections, the property details section, which is the one we've been earlier in while creating our new listing. So basically what you will find here is more or less the same information, the same content. You have here also like point of interest, which is a new thing. For example, you can add here or highlight here local experiences and landmarks for travelers, and just kind of customize your property. In our case, it's not confirmed yet, or it's not available yet, because as you can see, due to these notifications, we are not active, so we are not getting any bookings currently. Afterwards, you can do that. So just to show you what else you have here and how can you benefit from it. Then you have here, for example, also your property score with all the details. So what is missing, what needs to be filled out in order to get a higher property score. Also, very similar to booking.com, in order to get more visibility, make sure you have a good property score. You have your mandatory fees, you have here optional fees, and like different kind of fees you can add here. So a lot of things to review here, and so on. You have also a revenue management section, which is kind of also a replacement of your pricing tool if you want to. So what they have here is also like a dashboard with a travel search demand. We can see that this has a plus 6% compared to previous year. You can actually define here your set of competitors, and take a look at your calendar, the search demand, the current occupancy of similar listings in the area nearby, and so on. So this allows you to kind of get insight in revenue management, but of course does not replace the whole system and only applies for those using Expedia, not to all the other channels as usual. You have your performance also available only after you actually are active. And you can also manage your users here or add additional property. Last but not least, the help and support section, where you can contact Expedia support directly and actually select a topic already. The one which is interesting for you, and then this here. So you can say, well, I have a question about my property, or I have a question regarding reservation. Choose this topic, choose a subtopic, like for example, refunding a guest. And then you can actually, let me just search for a reservation ID, and afterwards conduct a message to Expedia. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you have different topics here, and also, of course, different articles which can help support you. Now here you can sum up the information and actually conduct a message with a file attachment, and you will get a response within 24 to 48 hours, something like that. Yeah, I would, same as on Booking, I would actually directly contact them if I would have any question. and not like look for articles or any other materials to get an answer, because those ones are pretty much general. Yeah, so this is pretty much it, everything I wanted to tell you about Expedia. In case you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me as always, and we will see each other in the next videos.